Hello, I'm Lizzie and I am a learning experience designer. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a reusable PowerPoint template for process documentation. That way you can set it up once and then create clear, consistent how-to docs quickly. So go ahead and open up PowerPoint and we'll get started. First, select Design. This is where we'll set the slide size. For the width, enter 8.5. And for the height, enter 11. This is the standard document size and will help prevent scaling issues when sharing. Select Maximize or Ensure Fit. Next, we're going to go to View and select Slide Master. This is what's going to allow us to create a reusable layout that can be duplicated easily. On the very first master slide, we're going to set the fonts. This slide controls all the others, so any fonts or elements set here will carry through the entire template. Select the title text box. We're going to go to the Home tab. We're going to change the font to Enter. You can use whatever font you'd like. For the body and footer text placeholders, we're going to set the font to Lotto. And again, you can use the font that you'd like. Now we're going to go to Insert and add a header and footer. Select Date and Time. Make sure that Update Automatically is checked. And we're also going to select Footer. And for the footer, we're going to enter version 1.0. You don't have to include a footer or versioning, but it's helpful for tracking updates and ownership. Select Apply to All. Next, we're going to delete the slide number text box. We're going to copy this middle one. And we're going to just reposition this so that it's consistent with the date text box. And in this one, we're going to enter the content owner. So in this case, the content owner is Learning Team, so I'll just type that there. And now we're just going to format these a little bit more. So we're going to select all of those, go to Home. We're going to set the font to size 8, and then we're going to set the height of our text box here to 0.26. And we're just going to drag them to the bottom so that we have as much space to work with on our page as possible. Now we'll build the first layout, the title page. Go to the next slide and select the title placeholder. We're going to go back to Home and we're going to set the font size to 36. And we're going to align the text to the middle. And then we're going to enter some placeholder text like process title here, and we're going to go to shape format and update the height here to 1.08. And then we're going to select the subtitle placeholder. We're going to go to the Home tab again and select 20 exactly. And we'll also set this to align to the middle. And we're going to set the height of this text box to 1.28. And then for the placeholder text, we'll just enter a brief overview of the process here. And we'll just drag that up here to be right under the process title. Now, the last thing that we're going to do on this page is add a small label. So we're going to go to the Insert tab, Shape, select a rounded rectangle, and just draw that here on the canvas. We'll reposition that a little bit. And we're going to change the shape fill to a light gray, remove the outline. If you zoom in a little bit, you'll see these yellow circles and you can drag that to adjust the rounding. Then we're going to double click into the shape and enter process document. Select that text, go back to Home. We're going to update to Lotto and black, and we're going to make this a little bit smaller so that it fits inside. Next, we'll create the step-by-step layout where the actual process steps will live. So let's go to the next slide here, and we're going to select the title and body placeholders and the slide number placeholder. Delete those, we're not going to use them. Then we're going to go to the Insert menu, and we're going to insert a oval. Click Control and click, and it'll draw a perfect circle for you. This is going to be what we use for numbering the steps of our process. So we will change this to a different blue. Let's do that one. Go to Outline, No Outline, Shape Effects, Shadow, shadow options, we're going to create a custom shadow here with 90% transparency, the size 101, and the blur at 25. And then we're just going to resize this a little bit to have height and width of 0.4. And we'll drag that up to the top corner here. And that's where the first step will start. So click into the circle, we're going to enter the number 1, select that, go to Home, set this to Lotto. We'll decrease the size just a tiny bit. Now we'll add placeholders for the step text. It's important to use placeholders instead of regular text boxes so that they remain editable outside of the Slide Master view. So go to Slide Master, insert placeholder, text, and we're just going to draw that on the screen here. Select in the text placeholder text box, and let's delete everything that's there. You can do Control-A to select everything. Delete the bullet. All right, so let's enter some descriptive text here. We'll say Step 1 descriptive header. We'll bold that. And we're going to make this a little bit smaller. We're going to set this to size 16. Let's align to middle here. Next, we'll copy and paste this. We're going to add another placeholder text box so that more instructions can be added if needed. Unbold that. We'll make this a dark gray color. And we'll say, describe the step in further detail here, or add additional instructions. All right, we're going to go back to Slide Master, and we're going to insert a picture placeholder. Click Control and then click at the same time. It'll add your placeholder for the picture. And we're going to resize this to have a height of 3 and a width of 4. And then click this little arrow here in the corner. We're going to click Lock Aspect Ratio. As we resize this, we want the height to be 2.16. Make this a little bit smaller so that we can fit more steps on the page. Move that up. And then we're going to change this to be a rounded rectangle. So go to Edit Shape, change shape, select the rounded rectangle, and then again use this little yellow circle to adjust the rounding here. We'll just have it at that. And then we're going to add the same shadow effect here. So go to Shape Effects, Shadow, Shadow Options, Transparency at 90, Size at 101, and the blur at 25. All right. So the last thing here to do is duplicate this whole step component 2 times so that there's 3 steps visible on this page. So select, Control C, and then V to copy and paste. And we may reposition this a little bit later, but we just want to make sure we have space. Let's change this to 2 and this to 2. And then we'll copy and paste again. And we'll just make sure everything is lining up. And we'll change this to 3 and this to 3. And we actually have a good amount of space. We'll move these down a little bit. All right, and that's pretty much it for setting up our layout page. So the last thing to do is to actually put some information in here so we can see what this looks like. So let's close out of Master View. As you can see, the process title layout is already inserted. So we just need to add our step-by-step layout. So go to New Slide and select the step-by-step layout that we created to insert it. At this point, the user simply fills in their content. Here, I'm going to add example text and images from a short process I've already created. And this is what the finished document looks like. Save the template and share it with anybody who needs to create process documentation. Thank you for taking the time to watch this tutorial, and I hope you found it helpful.